Have you ever wondered why some people seem to thrive while others struggle to thrive? Often, the difference lies in the habits we cultivate throughout our lives. The Bible, in addition to being a source of spiritual wisdom, also offers us valuable guidance for achieving prosperity and abundance, both financial and personal. If you feel stuck in your financial situation, not knowing how to take the next step, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to share 8 powerful habits based on biblical teachings that can transform your life. These are simple but profound practices that bring concrete results. Are you ready to discover how the ancient wisdom of the Bible can guide you to a life of greater security, prosperity, and fulfillment? Let's walk this path to abundance together. But first, make sure you are already subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on our content. 1. Diversify your source of income. Imagine that you only have one tree in your backyard that bears fruit. For years, this tree was enough to feed his family. But one day, an unexpected storm comes and knocks her down. What would you do? Running out of food, right? Now, think if, instead of just one, you had several trees in your yard, each bearing a different fruit. Even if one of them fell in the storm, you would still have others to provide for your family. This is exactly what the Bible teaches us in Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6, when it talks about diversifying sources of income. In the verse, the wisdom is clear. Sow your seed in the morning, and do not rest your hand in the evening, for you do not know which will prosper. In other words, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you rely on just one source of income, whether it's a job, a business, or even an investment, you run the risk of losing everything if that single source dries up. And believe me, unforeseen events happen. I know someone who, for a long time, relied solely on his job. It was a great job, good pay, everything was going well, until suddenly the company went bankrupt. With no other income, she passed months in a complicated financial situation. It was then that he understood the importance of diversifying his sources of income. He started investing in a small online business, made some investments, and also used a hobby he always loved, photography, to generate extra income. Today, she is much safer, knowing that if one door closes, others will remain open. The Bible teaches us to be wise and prepared for life's challenges. Diversifying our sources of income is a practical way to put this wisdom into action, ensuring that, even in the face of storms, our financial security remains firm. 2. Invest wisely. Imagine that you are faced with a unique opportunity. 3 people, each with a sum of money in their hands, are invited to do something with that amount. 2 of them decide to invest, put their money to work, and look for growth opportunities. The third, for fear of losing, decides to bury the money, keeping it still. After a while, the first 2 managed to multiply their amounts, while the third ended up with exactly the same amount he had at the beginning. This is the essence of the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. Now, you might be thinking, but investing is risky, isn't it? Yes, like everything in life, there are risks, but what the Bible teaches us is that we cannot let fear paralyze us. When we invest wisely, we are putting our resources to grow. We are opening ourselves to the potential to multiply what God has entrusted to us. Think of talents not just as money, but as opportunities. If you keep everything to yourself, afraid of losing, you will never see these talents turn into something greater. I remember a friend who, for a long time, was afraid of investing. He saved everything in savings, without understanding that that money could yield more if invested carefully. One day, after a lot of research, he decided to take the first step. He made a simple but promising investment. At first, he was apprehensive, but when he saw the first results, he understood the importance of making his money work for him. Today, he has not only managed to increase his reserves, but also create a more open mindset for growth. Investing is an act of trust and responsibility. It's believing that you can do more with what you have, following the example of the parable of the talents. After all, When we multiply our resources, we are also assuming the role of good administrators, taking care of what God has given us and building a safer path towards financial independence. 3. Plan your finances carefully. When we talk about prosperity and abundance, it is impossible to ignore the importance of financial planning. The Bible gives us a valuable lesson about this in Luke chapter 14, verse 28, when Jesus talks about the need to calculate costs before building a tower. In other words, before making any important decision, it is essential to know whether we have the necessary resources to achieve our objectives. Planning our finances carefully is what allows us to use our resources wisely and strategically. This involves setting clear goals, both short and long term, and most importantly, understanding where your money goes. Without planning, we run the risk of spending impulsively, accumulating debt, and living with that feeling that our salary is never enough. Furthermore, good financial planning helps us prioritize what really matters. By knowing exactly how much we earn and how much we spend, we can avoid waste and unnecessary expenses. This creates a solid foundation for achieving our dreams, whether they are paying off debt, buying a home, or ensuring a peaceful retirement. It is also important to remember that planning is not something rigid, but rather a tool that we can adjust as our lives change. The secret is to maintain discipline, review the budget frequently, and make adjustments whenever necessary. This way, we are prepared to deal with unforeseen events without compromising our financial stability. Have you ever stopped to think about whether you have efficient financial planning? If this idea makes sense to you, leave your comment below. And if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like and share it with others. This can help a lot of people take better care of their finances. Live below your means. When we talk about thriving and attracting abundance, living below your means is a fundamental practice. In Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20, we find a clear teaching about the wisdom of saving and not spending everything you earn. This principle reminds us of the importance of being prudent with our resources, ensuring that there is always a reserve for times of need or future opportunities. Living below your means does not mean depriving yourself of everything or living with scarcity, but rather spending in a conscious and planned way, always with an eye on the future. When we avoid impulsive and superfluous consumption, we create the opportunity to accumulate reserves, which gives us security in difficult times and freedom to invest in things that really matter. This type of financial control is essential to avoid debt and the stress that often accompanies a lack of planning. The Bible also teaches us about the importance of preparing for the future, just as Joseph did when advising Egypt to store food in years of abundance to face years of scarcity. This strategy is an example of how we should act with our resources. Save when we have more to be prepared when times are difficult. Adopting this lifestyle helps build a more stable and prosperous future. It's about living in a balanced way, where financial choices are made with conscience and purpose. This not only helps us avoid financial crises, but also opens up space to invest in what really matters, whether in our personal life, in projects, or even in helping others. By living according to this biblical principle, we have more control over our finances and, as a result, greater peace of mind and prosperity over time. 5. Make an emergency fund. Life is full of uncertainty, and no one knows what could happen tomorrow. This is why creating an emergency fund is such an important measure for anyone looking to prosper and attract abundance. In Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 1, we are reminded that life is unpredictable, and this unpredictability extends to our financial situation as well. Unexpected expenses can arise at any time, and without an emergency fund, facing them can become quite a challenge. Having a financial reserve is like building a protective shield. This fund serves as support in times of difficulty, preventing you from having to resort to loans or debts, which can seriously compromise your financial health. Whether it's a health issue, the loss of a job, or even an urgent home repair, an emergency fund gives you the peace of mind of knowing you're prepared to handle these situations without compromising your budget. Creating an emergency fund requires discipline, but it is an essential step to ensuring financial stability. The ideal is to start small, setting aside a portion of your monthly income until you have the equivalent of at least 6 months of basic expenses saved. This value provides a sufficient margin of safety to face unforeseen events with more serenity and without despair. In addition to being a smart financial practice, the creation of this fund also reflects wisdom and responsibility with the resources that God has entrusted to us. When we prepare for the unexpected, we are taking good care of what we have and ensuring that we can keep moving forward even when challenges arise. The stability brought by an emergency fund allows you to focus on other areas of life with more confidence, knowing that you are protected against financial uncertainties that may arise. 6. Always seek wisdom. Seeking wisdom is one of the most valuable principles the Bible teaches us, especially when we talk about thriving and attracting abundance. In Proverbs chapter 3, verse 13, we are reminded that wisdom brings more benefits than material riches. In the context of financial management, this translates into learning to make smart and responsible decisions with money, ensuring not only financial growth, but also peace of mind and security. Wisdom is the basis of all good choices. While money may come and go, knowledge and the ability to manage resources will remain and accompany us throughout life. Therefore, continually seeking to learn about finances, investments, and personal economics is an investment in yourself. The more you know about managing what you have, the more prepared you will be to multiply your resources and avoid common financial pitfalls. Wisdom also helps us differentiate between what is truly important and what is fleeting. While material riches can give us temporary comfort, wisdom teaches us to use them in ways that generate lasting benefits. This means not just thinking about immediate gains, but planning the future, making well-founded decisions, and acting prudently. Continuously seeking wisdom is a process that requires humility and dedication. It means being willing to learn from past experiences, listen to wise advice, and seek knowledge whenever possible. And in financial management, this practice brings much greater returns than any material gain. After all, with wisdom, you not only manage your resources better, but also avoid mistakes that could compromise your stability. By seeking wisdom, we are building a solid foundation for our lives. True prosperity comes not just from how much money we have, but from how we use what we receive. This allows us to live in a more balanced, safe, and purposeful way, following the principles taught by the Bible. 7. Work diligently. Diligent work is one of the essential pillars for achieving prosperity and attracting abundance, according to biblical teachings. In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 27, we learn that diligent effort leads to rewards, while Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24 reminds us that we should work as if we were serving God with dedication and purpose. These passages show us that hard work, done with intention and excellence, is valued on both the material and spiritual planes. When we dedicate ourselves fully to what we do, results inevitably appear. Diligent work is not just about spending more hours on an activity, but about being focused, committed, and doing our best at each task. The Bible teaches us that this type of attitude is rewarded, not only in terms of financial success, but also in personal satisfaction and fulfillment. Working as if we were serving God also changes our perspective on daily effort. By seeing work as an opportunity to use the gifts and talents we receive, we begin to view it in a more noble and meaningful way. No matter what the activity, whether in your job, in your personal projects, or in any other field, working with excellence reflects the respect you have for what you do and, above all, for those who gave you the ability to achieve it. Furthermore, diligent work creates discipline and strengthens character. It teaches perseverance, patience, and the ability to overcome challenges, fundamental characteristics for those seeking prosperity. Even in moments when a return seems distant, it is continuous effort that leads us to achieve our goals and build a solid foundation for the future. By following the Bible's counsel and working diligently, we are planting seeds that are sure to bear fruit. The prosperity that comes from this type of dedication is not only financial, but also spiritual and emotional, providing a more balanced and fulfilled life. 8. Practice generosity. We've reached the end of this video on how to prosper and attract abundance according to the Bible with the last habit. Practice generosity, as Jesus teaches us in Luke 6 verse 38. Give and it will be given to you. This principle goes beyond donating material goods. It involves an act of love for others with an open and disinterested heart. True generosity doesn't expect immediate rewards, but by acting unselfishly, we end up receiving blessings in return in ways we can't always predict. By practicing generosity, we help build stronger communities and transform lives. This habit connects us with something greater and allows us to live more meaningfully, sharing what we have with those who need it. And the most incredible thing is that, by being generous, we are not only blessing other people, but also strengthening our own journey of prosperity and abundance, following divine teachings. If you like this content and believe it can help other people, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Leave a like, share with friends and family, and comment below which part of this video impacted you the most. Your participation is very important for us to continue bringing messages of value and inspiration. See you in the next video.